Hello guys, welcome to Harshita Vivek Talks. So today in this video we are going to talk about autumn budget statement which has been recently delivered. We are going to analyze it and then we are also going to tell you how does it impact you and ultimately the million dollar question, whether or not you should come to the UK. Every day new things are happening. So we will try to help you with your decision making.
Before we move ahead, just want to remind our new viewers, we create videos about life abroad, life in Germany, UK, and also career related videos. So if you want that kind of content, just hit the subscribe button and then come back and watch this video. Point number 1 is about council tax. Council tax is going to increase by up to 5%. Yes, you heard it right. As it stands, local authorities were not allowed to raise the council tax by more than 2.99%, but now it has been announced that they can raise the council tax by up to 5%, and it's expected that next year most of the councils in UK are going to do that.
Guys, what does it mean? So for example, we are living in a council called Ealing. So in London, and Ealing councils, for example, can raise the council rate. For example, now we pay around 125 pounds per month. So now the council tax can be raised up to 5%. So this is directly impacting the cost of living. So if you are coming to the UK or if you're already in the UK, you have to keep this in mind whenever the rate is increased. So now moving on to the next point, which is regarding the income tax. So with income tax, the tax brackets have been fixed.
Income tax thresholds, which were frozen until 2026 by Rishi Sunak when he was the Chancellor back in 2021, have now been extended by Jeremy Hunt in his autumn budget for 2 more years. What this means is that until 2028, the thresholds, the income tax slabs which are there, they are going to get fixed. While it's normal for people to pay more tax as they climb up in their career ladder and go towards a higher salary range, now even middle earners would have to pay up to 40% of tax.
So the other thing is with regards to the highest bracket, which is the 45% bracket. Earlier, the minimum threshold for this income bracket was 150k. So above 150k, you have to pay flat 45% tax. And now it has been changed. Now the new limit is 125k. So if you are above 125k, you have already hit the highest bracket and you will be paying 45% taxes. So this is a bad news considering now the inflation is rising. You might get compensated by your companies, but on top of it, government has also reduced the highest tax bracket. So you might have to start paying this extra money very soon.
Next point, also a very important cost bracket for most of the households in UK is around energy prices. There was an energy price guarantee which was laid down in UK, which means that whatever your energy usage be, the maximum that you will pay for a household was £2,500. Now from April 2023 onwards, this energy price guarantee would now become £3,000, which means an extra £500 will get added to your energy bill if you cross that threshold. Many analysts in UK were actually predicting that it will be even much worse impact because of the energy prices. £500 increase, which is still better than what many people out here were predicting. So some bit of a good news for people living in the UK right now. In September, the nil rate threshold of stamp duty rose from 125k pounds to 250k pounds. The nil rate threshold paid by first time buyers rose from 300k pounds to 425k pounds, which is a good thing. But now in the latest autumn budget, this stamp duty cut has been it's still there, but they have time limited this cut. So it is only going to remain there till 31st March 2025.
So the next point is social housing rents. So the rent for social housing tenants has been capped at 7% increase. So for example, the landlords here are raising the rents from anywhere from 10, 11 and then even going higher. But for social housing which have been allotted by the local council, so these kind of houses, the tenants in those houses will have to pay a maximum of 7% increase. They cannot go beyond 7%. This has been, I would say, good news or not so good news. I think the people who are renting those houses, still it impacts them, the 7% increase. But whereas we compare it to private tenants, the tenants who are living in private housing, they have to pay, I don't know, maybe even 10, 15%. Rents are going crazy, especially, for example, some of my friends were telling in Canary Wharf, there has been an increase in 25% rent, which is
a lot.
crazy. But yeah, this is the situation.
Because interest rates are that high, all the people who are renting the apartments also have to pay their own mortgages, so they are passing on that cost to the renters. So yeah, at least for social housing there has been a cap now of 7%. Let's see what happens to private renters going forward.
So how does this correspond to the overall housing market? Well, we don't know. Nobody knows. There are changes every day to mortgage rates, and now this budget statement has also come. We can't predict the future, but more or less what we are seeing is, if you are someone who wants to buy a property, there are very few houses which are available, but the cost is going down because the mortgages are very high. So this is for the buyers, and I think for the tenants, I'm sorry to say there has been an increase. There has been an enormous increase. We are seeing landlords increasing the rents, as I said, sometimes even till 25%. So this is going to impact all the renters, especially private renters.
So now if you imagine, when we had come here in January, we were thinking about whether we should take for 2 years or 3 years, or we
lease,
were actually discussing we shouldn't take a very long lease. But now if I think back, I think it was a good decision that we took a 3-year lease, which is a bit on the higher side, I would say. We were thinking about 2 or less than 2 years, but now with the rising prices, I think it is beneficial to have done that in hindsight. So something to think about if you are someone searching for a house or an apartment in London right now, especially. Do keep that in mind.
Moving on to the next point, which is regarding pension. Although it's not applicable to most of us, but it's important to keep that in mind, that the pension has been increased from weekly of £185 to now 203 per week. Obviously, there is inflation, so it was bound to happen. I don't know if you are impacted or there's someone in your family who is impacted, so it's a good news. Okay guys, I wish I could say more good news, but there is less of a good news and more of a bad news here. So the taxes on capital gains. So you know, in most of the countries you have this capital gain. Below this amount, particular amount, you don't have to pay any taxes. So earlier it was 12,000, which is being reduced for the next year, 23-24. It has been reduced to 6k. And then afterwards it's reduced to 3k. So for example, if you are buying stocks and if you are making profits, you can only make a profit of 3k without paying any taxes, and after that you have to start paying taxes. So inflation, and on top of it your gains are also taxed. So guys, you have to run somewhere, because you can't escape from taxes, you can't escape from inflation. This is the hard reality.
So the next point is around transport, electric vehicles. Currently petrol and diesel cars, they pay road tax up to about £165 per year, and electric vehicle owners were actually exempt for from this tax. This was to promote more and more people to purchase electric vehicles in order for us to move towards a sustainable environment. The Office of Budget Responsibility actually has forecasted that electric vehicles could impact the motoring tax money that the government collects by up to £2.1 billion by 2026-27, which is a lot of money, and that's what the rationale they are giving, that they have to impose a road tax on electric vehicle owners now. This is going to happen in 2025. So if you are an electric vehicle owner in the year 2025 in UK, you would have to pay road tax.
So the next point is with regards to increase in minimum wages. So earlier for people 23 and above, they were getting per hour £9.5, and now it has been increased to 10.42. I think which is a good move considering the inflation. So if, for example, if you're someone who is working in per hour jobs, so just keep that in mind, that this has been increased to 10.42, and overall it would increase to yearly
£1,500 a year, or in the range of that. So that's actually a good news, and one of the very few good news which we have seen so far in this autumn budget.
So all in all, it has been confirmed that we are in a state of a recession,
as are many European countries, and even the layoffs happening in US. So something which we all knew, I think, but it has been officially said by the Chancellor that we are in recession right now, and it is going to continue next year or a couple of years as well, is what they have said. And this will directly impact each and every one of us. The disposable income is expected to go down next year. So I mean, what that means is for people who have a job to try and remain in those jobs, to at least try and have a stable job, because the job market might be getting impacted, but never say never. Let's see.
And how about the people who are coming from India? So now if you're coming from India, make sure that your salary is covering your rent, and then on top of it your living expenses, and you have everything covered, because this would be a bad thing. For example, if your salary is low and your expenses are high, and you know you are in a very uncomfortable situation, so make sure that, for example, if you're in the process of making up your mind, or if you're already in the visa submission process, that you have a good enough salary which can cover your living expenses while you are moving here, and be prepared to spend a little bit more on rents, because as we mentioned in the videos as well, rents are getting higher and higher. We are seeing this increase in mortgages and inflation, so this could directly impact your living expenses.
And we actually have a video on our channel on cost of living in UK and in London as well, so do watch that. It was made a couple of months ago, so now given all these changes that we have discussed with you, the cost of living might be a bit higher. So I would say, if you are somebody like Vivek said who's in the process of moving, or even in the process of searching for a job, negotiate better with your employers, because this is your chance to, you know the ground reality is happening in UK right now, so you can say that, hey, I'm going to need X amount of money to make sure that I'm surviving well and I'm living comfortably with my family. And I think they should be considerable enough to account for the tax thresholds, to account for the energy guarantee, which is a good thing, but still a £500 increase, and council tax increase. So all these things you can use to your benefit when you're negotiating with your employer, and try to command a good salary so that you can live comfortably in London or in UK.
So guys, as Harshita mentioned, like, to summarize, use fact-based negotiation while you are doing your negotiation for your salary. And in case you need our help to guide you with regards to jobs, or with regards to how to negotiate on the salaries, feel free to schedule calls with us, and we'll try our best to help you. And do subscribe to our newsletter on our website as well, because we are going to send you all the valuable information in the coming days. hvtalks.com, and you can go to this website, sign up for our newsletter, and we will send you, whenever we have all the list of valuable information, we will send you across.
We'll put all these links in the description box below, so do check out the description box, hit the like button if you like our content, and to stay updated with our next videos, please subscribe to Harshita Vivek Talks. Sharing is caring, as we always say. We would also like to know more from you, and our viewers would like to know more from you. So let's see you in the comments, and now we'll see you in our next videos. Till then, take care, stay safe, goodbye.